No one will disrespect you ever. Just do this. Have you ever felt the sting of disrespect? Not in grand betrayals, but in the quiet erosion of your worth, a dismissive glance, a sarcastic remark, an unspoken disregard. Like cracks in the hull of a ship, these small fractures can sink even the strongest relationships if left unchecked. The Stoics teach us that respect is not something we demand, it is something we embody. It is not found in control over others, but in mastery over ourselves. When we stand firm in our values, when we refuse to be ruled by ego or emotion, we naturally command the respect we seek. But how do we recognize the hidden signs of disrespect? How do we respond without anger, without losing ourselves in conflict? And most importantly, how do we rebuild relationships where respect has faded? In this video, we'll explore 9 timeless Stoic lessons to ensure no one disrespects you again. Lessons that will sharpen your awareness, strengthen your character, and help you navigate even the stormiest waters with unwavering resolve. Stay until the end, absorb each lesson, and if you're ready to take this journey, comment, "I embrace strength," a small step toward a life of quiet strength and unshakable respect. Compassion. In Stoic philosophy, compassion is not mere kindness, it is wisdom in action. It is the ability to see the suffering of others, not with pity, but with understanding. True compassion is not weakness, it is strength, rooted in the mastery of one's own emotions. Marcus Aurelius once advised, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself, what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" This simple reflection shifts our focus from judgment to humility, from blame to connection. To cultivate compassion, begin with yourself. Accept your own flaws, not as excuses, but as realities to be improved. When you forgive yourself, you open the door to forgiving others. Next, listen. Not to reply, but to understand. True listening dissolves barriers and fosters respect. Finally, embody compassion through action. A word of encouragement, a moment of patience, an act of generosity. These small gestures ripple outward, shaping a world where respect flows naturally. Forgiveness is the ultimate expression of compassion, not a gift to others, but a liberation for yourself. Holding on to resentment is like gripping a burning coal. Only when you release it do you free yourself from the pain. In letting go, we cultivate inner peace, allowing compassion to flourish. The impact is profound. Compassion does not make you weak, it makes you unshakable. It strengthens relationships, diffuses conflict, and elevates your presence in any room. A person who embodies compassion commands respect effortlessly without ever demanding it. Have you ever noticed how your attitude toward others shapes their response to you? Try practicing true Stoic compassion, not as an obligation, but as a path to strength and harmony. Right speech. Words are not merely sounds. They shape our reality, build our reputation, and determine how others treat us. The Stoics understood that speech is a reflection of character, and mastering it is key to commanding respect. First and foremost, speak the truth. Honesty is the foundation of trust, and trust breeds respect. A person known for truthfulness never needs to demand credibility. It is given freely. Imagine being in an important meeting where you make a mistake. If you try to conceal it, suspicion follows. But if you acknowledge it with integrity, people respect your courage and responsibility. This simple reflection shifts our focus from judgment to humility, from blame to connection. The truth is that to cultivate kindness, begin with yourself. Accept your own flaws, not as excuses, but as realities to be improved. When you forgive yourself, you open the door to forgiving others. Next, listen. Not to reply, but to understand. True listening dissolves barriers and fosters respect. Finally, embody patience with purpose. Words should add value, whether by sharing knowledge, solving problems, or uplifting others. Meaningless chatter dilutes your presence. A person who speaks with intention is listened to. A person who speaks carelessly is ignored. Ask yourself, are my words contributing to something meaningful, or are they just noise? Silence, too, is a form of speech. Knowing when to remain silent is a sign of strength, not weakness. Many conflicts are fueled by unnecessary words, by the need to have the last say. A wise person understands that not every battle is worth engaging in. A key aspect of humility is to speak respectfully, not in arrogance. A wise person remains unmoved because their focus is always on effort and self-respect, not the expression of specific results. Have you ever witnessed a situation where a well-timed silence or a measured response turned conflict into understanding? Share your experience in the comments. Master your speech, and you will master the way the world perceives you. Mindfulness. Have you ever wondered why some people command respect effortlessly, while others struggle to be taken seriously? The answer lies not in force, but in presence. In Stoic philosophy, mindfulness is not just a practice, it is a way of being, a discipline that cultivates self-respect and inner strength. To live mindfully is to be fully present, to observe without being controlled by fleeting emotions. When we are mindful, we respond to life's challenges with clarity, not reactivity. Marcus Aurelius often reflected in solitude, using deep breathing and stillness to anchor himself amidst chaos. Imagine yourself doing the same, sitting quietly, feeling each breath, allowing thoughts to pass without attachment. This practice builds composure, making you unshakable in the face of disrespect. This simple reflection shifts our focus from judgment to humility, from blame to connection. The act transforms you. Share your experiences in the comments. Practicing Stoicism does not mean avoiding confrontation at all times, but rather a controlled and respectful response. What do you think of the power of speaking mindfully? Comment below. Forgiveness. At some point in life, we all face disappointment, betrayal by a friend, a broken promise, or a painful injustice. The wound lingers, resentment festers, and without realizing it, we carry the burden of past hurt, like a chain around our soul. But the Stoics teach us a powerful truth. Forgiveness is not a gift to others, it is a liberation of the self. Holding on to resentment is like gripping a burning coal. Only when you release it do you free yourself from the pain. In letting go, we cultivate inner peace, allowing compassion to flourish. Forgiveness does not mean excusing wrongdoing or forgetting pain. It means choosing not to be consumed by it. When we forgive, we reclaim our peace, refusing to let anger dictate our emotions. Epictetus reminds us, people are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. How can you cultivate a mindset that empowers you to navigate situations with kindness and understanding? Share your experience in the comments. If you found yourself taking something personal or being in conflict over a non-issue, how could you be more mindful? Let's explore some helpful actions for mindfulness. Non-attachment. What if the secret to never being disrespected wasn't about changing others, but about changing how we see the world? The Stoics teach us that true strength comes from non-attachment, detaching from outcomes, material possessions, and the need for approval. When you master this, you become untouchable. First, detach from outcomes. Imagine putting your heart into a project, only to see it fail. Most people would feel defeated. But a Stoic remains unmoved because their focus is on the effort, not the results. Marcus Aurelius reminds us what stands in the way becomes the way. Obstacles are not signals to quit, but lessons to master. Next, detach from material things. The more you depend on possessions for your identity, the easier it is for others to control you. Seneca advised that we should live simply, so that wealth and luxury do not own us. When you are content with a little, you remain free. No one can use loss or status against you.